All right, then. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your interlude, a little 10 to 15 minutes cheese and cracker break. Okay, I done refreshed my coffee. And I took more notes too. Everyone, Pisces. This could be happening during Pisces season if it's not someone who has Pisces placements prominent in their charts. Guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Eccentric RockStar'Seed, and I'm going to continue with the message I already uploaded. Patience is needed. Keep in mind, take what resonates, leave what does not. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You're going to need patience. I'm fanning myself. It's very hot. I done got overheated, and I'm going to say a prayer. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our Rab, forgive us, what did I say? Forgive us, have mercy. You are the best of those who show mercy. Surah number 23, ayat number 118. This is somebody who's learning their way after being misguided or walking in darkness for a long time. They're in the dark night of the soul, babies. Okay? This person is striving for peace. They are now inspired to go in peace, to rest in peace. Pursuit of, meaning what? Pursuit of happiness. Okay? Somebody is on a dark night of the soul mission. They're on a journey by themselves. It doesn't matter what you see them doing. They're on that journey. Because now they understand true love. They're learning a valuable lesson. True love is eternal. It's not what I can do or what people can do for me. Because if I'm going to base it off what people can do for me, where's everybody when I need them? Where are you motherfuckers when I need them? Okay? It's something like that. Okay? Somebody is like really learning who their true friends are. Sometimes you're met with a lot of jealousy along the way in your travels, and you just can't help that these are lessons that needed to be learned. Okay? Recap. Now that I realized after I did the first half of this video, what I realized is these two queens, this reading started off with the Queen of Wands. This is a different spread I'm doing with 7 cards I laid down. The first card is the Queen of Wands. The 7th card is the King of Wands. Okay? That is the same person. Okay? I said it was 2 feminine energies, but I didn't say it had to be 2 women. Okay? This Queen of Wands is a man in my premonition. This Queen of Cups is a female. But you switch the genders how it applies. It doesn't have to be. But how I'm picking it up is this is a man learning his place. Or is it heavily influenced by a lot of toxic women? Honestly, he didn't realize he was raised by the tradition of the city. Okay? This is somebody who was raised by people who practice witchcraft. Sometimes they have to be prayed over, and they have religious people being prayed over them, and they don't understand the difference. So they think that person is religious, or it's just something else got a hold of them. They do not understand that growing up, these women are raised under the influence of a voodoo practice. Okay. He didn't understand the difference. He didn't start waking up until he came across this Queen of Cups. So something about this Queen of Cups minding her business. This Queen of Cups is also the Empress. So the Empress and the Queen of Cups the Empress and the Queen of Cups is the same person. The Queen of Wands and the King of Wands is the same person. The High Priestess and the 5 of Swords are several people. Okay? It's different people along the journey. All right? Just follow that. All right? Remind you, this is the energy the person is in. This is the experience that led to the demise of somebody and somebody shooting for their north node. This final round is somebody shooting for a particular space to stay safe, to have a safe haven, to have a human being that they can move through. This person that's operating from this low vibrational space does not know that they have an attachment already on them. And then they have the audacity to call on some more attachments. Dig. So when the first card, as I said, the Queen of Wands was represented by this card in reverse. This card talks about devotion, but it's in reverse. So this person has been submissive and trying to control the narrative, but this person is also trying to please people along the way. Like they please a lot of people. They put their friends first. Okay? And it echoes this energy right here too. Tejas. Tejas talks about the subtle essence of intelligence and courage, about radiance and glow. This is something this person, now if this was in the upright, this person would be able, people would see your intellect and courage through your eyes. They would be able to read things about you. Your aura shines very brightly. Okay? You would have that radiant glow to you that reflects your passion. And you would know, you're on earth here for a reason and are deeply committed to that higher purpose. He has to make his way. This is a story about a journey to that higher purpose and how this person got to that higher purpose. It's something about you carry a spark of energy that uplifts everybody around you. Like I said, this is a natural born leader, and is a warrior of love. That's why they got into that people pleasing phase. We'll get to that. And you're committed to raising the vibration of this planet, even if it sparks controversy. You one of them people. Who woke his ass up? None other than somebody who stands in their power. Okay? You see these two cards right here? Well, I'll show it to you in a second. The eccentricities. Okay? By being in your highest self and committing to your truth, you encourage others to do the same. Continue sharing your spark with others who have lost theirs. You are the person who's supposed to lead other people out of what you're going through, but you became the very thing you're supposed to be leading people out of, which is how he ended up in that receptive energy. He didn't know how to take the lead. That's why the Queen of Wands is starting off and the King of Wands is at the final stage of it. Okay. But since this card is in reverse, and it makes sense because it's on top of the Hangman. It's further amplifying what the Hangman represents. Somebody who put themselves in that situation, who can very easily pull themselves out of the situation, but they did not want to. They wanted to be controlling. There's something about you having a natural energy. Since it's in reverse, it's like it talks about you having the energy. Only others can only dream about it. So it's like abuse of power to some degree, but sometimes you can burn yourself out in the process. So this person understands that what they come to the table with. It's supposed to be taking time to rest and rejuvenate. That's how all this started. It was supposed to be a rest and rejuvenation phase, but then things took a lot of dramatic turns. Not every day has to be a battle though. And yes, you are still the warrior of love, but you're also a lover of light. So the weight of the world does not have to rest on your shoulders, but rather can be shared with everyone else. It's like you do your part and then you leave the rest up to God and trust that things will be taken care of by forces that are far greater than yourself. This is where the person got a little misguided, because the forces that have put him in this Queen of Wands receptive, overly sexualized energy are the darker forces that people came to the table with out of sincere ambition, because they know he can't be taken down lightly. So surrender. Now that he's at a space where there's so much chaos, you're surrounded by so much chaos and conflict, you're going to need to surrender. And because he's starting to wake up around people who just walking around in the twilight. Remember that song, Home is Where the Hatred Is? A junkie walking in the twilight. I'm on my way home. Okay, it doesn't mean that the people have to be on drugs necessarily, but so many of them are taking some kind of abusing some kind of substance. And he just like looking around with people. Really feels like that. What he noticed, or what the person noticed, is that people around him are wandering blindly. They have no idea. They have no sense of direction. They don't know where they're going. They're deaf, dumb, and blind, as they say. Sora number 2, ayat number 18. They play a lot of games. They're very ambitious. They play with a lot of different energies, or just don't have the spiritual backing to stop energies from taking advantage of their humanity, or a little bit of humanity they choose to practice. So now, in the beginning, you had the flamingos. This man sits and ponders a lot, how he only has eyes for you. He also sits and ponders how the people that he surrounded himself by, he realized where he's at by being in his hangman energy. He have attracted a lot of people who have no sense of direction or don't have no light. He's a lover of light, so he can recognize somebody when they're in their darkness. And it's his turn to go through his dark night of the soul and address the things, the obstacles that are in their way. Now, this particular space where the Empress is, and this card in the upright, how this is talking about being grounded in your own creativity. It's about reaping the rewards of your inner transformational work you've done. But it's also in the part where the darkness, the enemies, and the obstacles. This person, when they met you, they were the Queen of Wands. You're the Queen of Cups. They did not realize you were not the enemy. Okay? They were treating you like the enemy or the obstacle because of the influence of the other ambitions that's also in his energy. Like these people who are nowhere near a north node. They're every bit of a south node. Okay, so it's like, and it also served as a threat as those other people that were in the energy that are misusing the entities that were using the other people who were keeping this person stuck in a Queen of Wands energy when he should be a King of Wands. Okay, they were treating you like the enemy and the darkness, but the reason why this person could have only allowed that because they were in a dark space. And now it put them in a dark night of the soul because of the way that they treated you. Forced the separation, forced you away from them. You had to. It's just you're in different spaces. Or he may have knew what he saw in you was in him too. He just was in a undevoted space. So with this card being in the reverse, this is like the devotion is like he wasn't on the straight and narrow path. He wasn't practicing God's religion. He was practicing himself. That's what that means. So somebody like you who is practicing a religion of God is why you were considered the enemy. It was a trick of the shaitan to make him think or treat the Empress who's celebrating and reaping the rewards of her inner transformational work. Well done. You did, but you were treated like the op because he was on the wrong side. He was in the south node while you was in the north node. Now, what else? It was Phoebe Snow, the poetry man. It was Flamingos, I Only Have Eyes for You. It's Marvin Gaye, Since I've Had You. And the fourth song was Home Is Where the Hatred Is by Gil Scott Heron. Yeah. All right. Going deeper. We're going deeper. Mommy. Deeper and deeper. Yes.
I think I should not remember.
Now, your deepest wishes, inner gifts, inner wishes, your quest, and your goals. The dream. My dream is that, so his dream initially was to put you in that Queen of Wands predicament. And just be all about him and not of the religion of God, because his frequency was too low to put up with where you're at as an Empress. Somebody who's of higher frequency, who is putting in the work, who deserve to be a leader, who's in a leadership position. You see that? That art of seduction, that art of persuasion. But since you're the enemy, while he's in that frame of mind or frame of spirit, okay? This is the blessings and supporters, or the high priestess, and with there's the high priestess. Typically would be a helping hand of God, but it also could be someone who manipulates dark energies, who calls upon darker energies, okay? Or just wanted to paint you in a bad light. So someone did nickname you something of the dark arts, because you could be a high priestess as well. They're right next to each other. You see what I'm saying? It's like your image or your character was attempted to be tainted by those who are ambitious with that petty ass 5 energy. It's only a 5, and a 5 could be straightened the fuck out. You dig what I'm saying? Because they're not on their north node. They can't even stand next to you. Most of the people who did something against you won't even say it to your face. So take it with the proverbial grain of salt, but take it serious enough that there are some people who are not spiritually inclined enough to ward off that kind of energy. So when you see this in the reverse, is like a lack of creation. When you're not creating, you're dying. And this can relate to work, relationships, or even your own identity. So someone considered you to be a dark force, not even a human. So this is like somebody dehumanized you. But these are the people that's doing it. The people who don't have the right creation to even be in that Empress type of energy. You could be a man or a woman in an Empress energy. You see what I'm saying? This is people who play on your person. Your person could be an Empress, whether it's a man or a woman. You see what I'm saying? Who just operates in a King of Wands energy. But this was an Empress male operating out of a Queen of Wands energy. He could have been already on the path of doing something right, and he got caught up. But just like it's also a reminder that you came along his path to redirect him, to be the driving force. Like, this is a lover of light, so he's naturally drawn to you. He knows exactly like who you are on a soul level. It's unfortunate because with the High Priestess, it represents the people who accused you of doing it is the ones who was doing it. So this is a lack of creation, a copycat, a doppelganger, somebody who calls on entities, is a lack of humanity, is in poor taste, as they say. And they did that to your person to do that to you. And then you got this is supposed to be your blessing. You were supposed to be a blessing and a supporter to this person, but he ended up mistreating you and treated you in a way that the ambitions should have been treated. So the bright side of the matter is that he has that clarity and that focus as to who's for him and who's against him. You dig? And this is somebody who is unfortunately is in a position of the bright side of the matter. Is that you understand who your real friends are. Because now, excuse me, be quiet. Now that you need those same friends you traded on the blessing, you traded your blessing for a curse, for a bunch of curses, out of influence of several curses, as how I'm hearing it. And you are wondering, like, where are all my friends? Now you need to call your friends. And it's like everybody was celebrating when it was attack of the High Priestess or attack of the Empress, who was the helping hand. Instead, it's like, no, it was cool. Y'all celebrated together when y'all were throwing stones at this person and making it like this person was bad to get what they wanted. Well, this could be one person currently getting what they want, but it's also the attraction of this one person who's currently doing this is a relatable energy, is normal to survive through that toxic energy. I said stop. It's been normalized for this man or whoever to survive through this toxic energy. It's an environmental attitude because that's how they grew up. They grew up without the correct resources. So when this person came along, it felt normal, even though it was toxic. It was South Node energy, but it felt normal. This person can do anything but guide you or be an example of a North Node or the higher purpose, or like assist you or be a supporter of you trying to be on your highest purpose or be in the realm of your higher purpose. So now, so having this person in their life, it felt natural to attack this person. Even if this person knew intuitively, that's not right to do that, because they're also the hangman. And it's interesting because the hangman is right under the high priest. So they're both intuitive energies. Instead of relying on yourself, when you relying on yourself, but from a sick-hearted space, some days are better than others, with the influence of those manipulating energy to get you to do what they want. It's nothing but chaos. So it felt natural to be in an environment full of chaos. But it also, ironically, it felt natural to be in that place of peace when you were around the person, the Empress. You see, that Six of Swords is a massive influence for this person. And that's why they're in a dark night of the soul. Even when you met them, they were borderline dark night of the soul. Now, hermit mode is refraining. It's all about refraining from all your desires. Yeah, everybody want to party with you when it's time to get high, when it's time to drink, when it's time to have sex, when it's time to spend money, your money, not their money. But they're not around when you need guidance through this dark night of the soul. And you can use moral support, emotional support, mental support, even spiritual. When you need somebody to pray, say a prayer for you. They can't even say a prayer for you. But what do you expect if they don't say a prayer for themselves? It's very interesting. Okay? Because now you get to the beginning of your journey. So I stand correct. The beginning of your journey is this Queen of Cups with the root chakra in the upright. So this is somebody who reminded you. A reminder benefits a believer. So I said, like, this person could have had an idea of what to do and could have been doing it at some point and got lost along the way. A lot of twists and turns. You see what I'm saying? But this is the beginning of your journey. Maybe even for both of you. Okay, that started this dark night of the soul and this journey to retreat while you're in the dark night of the soul, to go to a more non-argumentative, non-combative, peaceful, tranquil space, traveling to calmer waters. This Queen of Cups, it did so much for this person. It's like, it was the type of energy where when they were around this Queen of Cups, it felt like home. Like, I haven't been home in so long, like fancy having you here. And it would be so peaceful, and it would be such an enjoyable experience because it's such an overflowing abundance of emotions, because this person has been in that survival energy with the Five of Swords, that South Node, that competitive energy, that energy of ambition. I mean, if I got to step on somebody to get what I want, so be it. Kind of energy, because that's who they've been hanging around. That's honestly the type of energies that kind of raised them. It could be like the streets raised them. So in the streets, you attract a lot of negative forces, or a lot of people who are lower frequency, or a lot of hustlers. Witchcraft is a form of hustling in a way. To me, it is. Okay, because you can manipulate anything to get what you want with God's permission. You just don't see heaven about it. Okay, so it is a real thing. And then with the heart of the problem, we reached the climax. Like, what is the heart of the problem in the first place? Is that hangman energy. And like I said, it's like you can know that you naturally have that energy only other people could dream of. So it attracted a lot of like spiritually thirsty people, or people who resort to lower frequencies because they're spiritually thirsty. They don't have no guidance themselves. They're deaf, they're wandering. That's why it goes back to what I said. You're starting to wake up to people wandering around, wandering blindly. But at one point in time, it could have been just hustling. It's about the ambition of getting what you need and keeping it moving. You met somebody when they were in a space like that, or around people who are in a space like that. So if they're already starting to wake up and find their higher purpose, and they're starting to wake up to the people around them are only there, they can't help me just as much as I can help them. I'm the one carrying this. So it's time to drop this. It's like, and I've been sitting myself here because you could have been reacting from a hurt space or something that you're trying to move past that could have been painful. And you're sitting there like somewhere on your spiritual journey, you decided to just stop. With the hangman is a major arcana. So somewhere along the lines, you just decided to stay stagnant and not make a decision. You didn't want to make a decision at some point, and that opened the floodgates for Iblis to have his way, to flex his little bit of muscles. You see what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted. He's very, very intelligent. He's just not a god. So he brought his soldiers, his finest soldiers. He put his best foot forward to get you to sway his way. And he was almost successful with pushing your person or the correct guidance, or somebody who's an influence of what it means, of what it looks like in practice and in speech to be on a straight and narrow path, or to redirect you from out of this hangman energy to that full-on death or transformation, because that would be the next card, would be the death or transformation, like the full-on ego death. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know yourself to be a certain way, but you burning yourself out, trying to take matters into your own hands, not resting, no kind of rejuvenation. Every day is a battle, combative with that Five of Swords. You dig what I'm saying? When you really know yourself to be, sorry, the camera fell. When you know yourself to be somebody who's not a people pleaser, that would be negative, but a server. You like to be in service of other people. You love to show up for people. It's not coming from an exact hustling, I'm trying to swindle you, I'm going to spin you to get what I want kind of space. It's not all distorted like that, like this Five of Swords. It's not. But when you're in yourself, and you're struggling through trying to learn the lessons or get this shit right, because of so much of it, you could have felt like you was on your own. At some point, you convinced yourself, I'm all alone. So I could see where the stagnancy, you could have stopped, somewhere and got stuck in transition. The hangman is indecisive and kind of a self-induced place where you can get up at any given time and turn all this around. But what I like about the hangman, you see how this is lit up, even though her feet is stuck and her hands are free. You dig? Like, this is a intuitive space, but you intuitively know better, but you're not doing nothing. You see how it's lit up? But then the card that's further amplifying it, the person is lit up too. So you have a lot of what you abuse so much of what you come to the table with naturally. Yeah, you are a warrior of love, of course. But just because you got bruised, you could have got bruised through by way of relationship or family dysfunction, or just going through an identity crisis or something like that. But you're also a lover of light. So God put, with every difficulty God allow you to go through to strengthen your character, it doesn't come without two eases. So there's this is our ease. The part that's at ease is the part where the beginning of the journey began with the Queen of Cups. Now you are automatically attracted to this Queen of Cups. Even if you could have tried to over-sexualize or just maybe just flat out hustle this person. Even though you got a lot of good stuff, like it replenished your spirit. It woke your spirit up from being in this stagnant place, from being in this hangman space. You see what I'm saying? And the outcome, you end up being the King of Wands. And to further amplify, that was another card about devotion. But in the upright, it's about loyalty and devotion. But it's in reverse. Putting your friends first didn't serve you no good. You did a lot to prove your loyalty to the point of public humiliation. I feel like it was to the point where you felt publicly humiliated in front of people, showing how talented and raw and authentic you were. But where it correlates with the Queen of Wands and this card of devotion is like telling you to read scriptures. It's like it gives me the vision of read the Holy Scripture, because somewhere along the lines of you stopping somewhere on your journey, which could have put you in an egotistical space, because this is the hangman. This is right before the ego death. So you're operating more out of your ego, considering making everything a battle, making everything a conflict, a combative, a chaotic experience, or bringing in a lot of chaos or attracting a lot of chaos, going down the wrong path, not resting, not rejuvenating. Okay? The weight of the world does not have to be on your shoulders. Okay? Let God do his job. Do your part, but let God do his job. And it put something about being manipulated, or just a lot of manipulation and gaming. A lot of it. Somewhat. This Queen of Cups, you almost put this Queen of Cups in that Queen of Wands energy, where she's almost sacrificing, because she has that recognition too, where she's almost sacrificing what the scriptures say, the religion of Adam. Okay, God of Adam, which would be the Most High. to be subservient to you, but she catches herself, which in turn makes this person stand back on his heels. Now he has to catch himself, or put the genders where it's supposed to go. You see that? Quite intriguing, right? So when I see all these cards, you got, what came out first was the Nine of Wands. That's going back to someone stuck in a portal they called upon. Could have been the Ouija board or some other form of dark spiritual practice, the stuff they accused you of doing or your person of doing, Pisces, or practice on your person. They have to practice it on your person to make it somewhat believable, to make him seem like you were the enemy, you were the obstacle, something that he had to combat and move out of the way, move her out of my way, or move him out of my way. Okay, this person is like paranoia, schizophrenia. With the Nine of Wands, all that's going back on the spirit of the person, the nasty spirited person who wasn't even in their North Node to begin with. These are the severals that I spoke of earlier that play those kind of games with people, the hustlers. You see what I'm saying? And the next card was the Five of Wands. Now, if you look at this is somebody who puts up the good fight, but who are you fighting? You're fighting the entities you called upon because it has nowhere to go but back to you. Because if this man or woman is going on their North Node or facing their North Node, coming out of their South Node, you failed the mission according to the devil himself. Like you didn't do a good enough job turning this man away or turning this woman away from the straight and narrow path. Now there's conflict. There's arguments, fighting, chaos. Everybody's trying to outsmart everybody. And then there's more fire energy with the Fool. This could have been a seductress or somebody who's young at heart, just youthful energy, because the Page of Wands is right next to it. This is the part where I said somebody could have cursed your life or put a curse on your life or did something to agitate failure or sent someone young and immature to agitate failure. Could have been this female. You put a separation between where he was supposed to go, which ended up being a permanent separation for the people who cursed the man or cursed the woman. Because it looked like y'all are separated or in conflict. You dig? And he's trying to be a gentleman. You see how he got his top hat? Like he's trying to be respectful. But this is just, something's just not given. It's not giving life. It's cold over there. You see the snowflakes in the card, if you can see it on camera. Okay? And someone has no choice but they fighting with themselves. They bent up on the floor in the corner, rocking and shaking and doing crazy stuff where somebody better call the people to put the rukia on them, to put hands on them because they tripping because of what they believed in. The traditions of the city. You see what I'm saying? And this could have been something they learned at a very young age. And this is where the Three of Wands is further amplifying it, because this is about patience and virtue, waiting for your ships to come in, but the candles are burning slow. It doesn't mean you're necessarily using candles, but the candles are burning slow to further amplify who they called upon. Like this is meant to be intimate, intense, slow lovemaking, like what slow lovemaking is, the foreplay that leads up to the ultimate intercourse, the ultimate climax, is what they were banking on when they were preying on you and your person. That's how I mean it. Okay, but it starts speeding up. Something came about in a more superficial, fast-paced way, and this is also about burnout because you're like moving you like running with no brakes with that energy. And this is why with the Eight of Wands, it's like propelling forward like you went the wrong way or you went against the wrong person. This person has to sit and reflect on why they were maneuvering like that. So to end it all is the World card, okay? Which can also be all the fixed energies because it's done. It's a completion. It is public recognition or is made to be public knowledge with the world because it could be a global platform. Okay, or just on the news. What you see in the news, what you see coming out in the news is what all this is all about, from the Nine of Wands to the World card. How you see people who they're caught at that young and naive age and all the humiliation rituals that were practiced, and it's causing chaos, okay? A lot of conflict behind the scenes, a lot of torturous things that people or manipulated or seduced into, because this is a seducer card. And it's right next to the Fool card. So it's a young, naive energy, that innocence, that innocent persona. And the candles are burning slow, whether literally or metaphorically, because someone really conjured up some deep-rooted shit out of sincere ambition. You know, some real big shit was too big for their britches, because that thing came in fast and furious, and it's beyond what this person can handle. This person had no idea what they were doing. You see what I'm saying? So seemingly there's a mercy with this King of Wands, because he was so devoted to these friends who was doing all this stuff to him, man or woman. You dig what I'm saying? That he proved his self-loyalty to a fault. Like, go to your holy scripture, okay? It didn't mean anything to these people because they're deaf, dumb, and blind. It ended up not meaning anything to these people because it was deaf, dumb, and blind. Because they're deaf, dumb, and blind. So his loyalty went unnoticed. He could disappear. The lyrics, a junkie walking through the twilight, I'm on my way home. So as he's making his way back to himself, or back to a more structured and disciplined, like, religious space, his North Node, he's starting to recognize what the people were doing, because it's affecting them. Because then if it has nowhere to go, it couldn't go to you. You're protected. The Queen of Cups, you're protected, okay? Not to mention unbothered. In an unbothered energy, you're grounded. You're reaping the rewards of minding your own damn business, leaving off of what does not concern you. This person is starting to wake up to that, but they got to go through their dark night of the soul. And through that dark night of the soul, as you start to see things more clearly, somebody's stuck in a portal of what they conjured up, and somebody made a decision to go on a more straight and narrow path, to get their shit together, to get themselves together. And that's a permanent beginning. So somebody's permanent ending is somebody's new beginning. Start over, start fresh. If I made sense, I try to make it make sense, okay? To further amplify that, you got Rockstar. I'm a million different things at a million different times. I am me with no apologies. That kind of went that started off a little egotistical when they went into that hangman energy. And then you got the Black Diamond, okay? Love, true love is eternal. It's not all this. It's not what I could do for people or what people could do for me. So you caught yourself. If you were straying away from your religion, you caught yourself. Now this person got to catch themselves. They got to go through that dark night of the soul. They got to peel back all these layers and layers. Some of it could even be generational curses, because there are major arcanas here. Okay. You do have people foolishly getting themselves into things they only deem to get themselves out of. It's too big for them. It's too much for them. Demonically speaking, it's too much for them. So they end up with all these mental instabilities with the Nine of Wands. Like, they fighting, cutting demons out their face, like doing crazy stuff, going through too many crazy changes. And you don't even need to know why. You let God do his work. It wasn't for this man or this woman to come in and play Captain Save them for people who brought that on themselves. Every day does not have to be a battle. Now, so is like thanking God, but he remembers somewhere along the journey, as time moved everybody forward, it's something like the picture, like this picture right here. The person of his authenticity is like history. It's like something he could have felt like he was going to the point of no return. But when I say peeling back the layers, this is like the traditions of the city. But it also looks like him peeling back the layers and going into his authenticity. You know, still like facing himself for who he is, or what he's meant to be doing. And when he met you, Queen of Cups, you accepted him, even if he was in a different space. He was in on a different side of energy. You still saw past all that and still loved him anyway. So now you understand what true love is, especially if you're showing up as a Queen of Cups. So that in turn puts this Queen of Cups and King of Wands together. It makes for a balanced energy, a very creative energy as well, without the dark attachments. Isn't that special? Y'all rock stars together. Number 9 is on here. 39 can be significant, or 12. That could break down to 12, like the hangman. Okay, because that's when you met them at that phase where he just wasn't moving. He just stopped somewhere along his journey and got sidetracked. Now he's back on it. Okay, and he got his innocence, his purity, the overflowing of emotions. That's like imagine these two, him just very entertained by this overflowing of emotions. He's happy. It's his happy space. So in his memory, even if it's in his frontal cortex, you only exist now. It's like if you don't have a picture of y'all together, this is how he remember y'all. Okay, this is where it all began, where the journey began. This Queen of Cups is with this Queen of Cups. And now I think both of y'all end up being a rock star because this is a butterfly on here. So it has been some sort of transformation. Aren't you sweet? Oh, you guys. You only, this is like going through the 12 steps of Narcotic Anonymous or something equivalent to that, or just following the book, the scripture, the Holy Scripture, as you go through it, as you're fasting, as you're refraining with the Hermit card. So you think about each other in a positive light. Congratulations. Now could be what I see right here. Okay. You do, I don't know, celebratory energy. There's the Lovers. This was always my Lovers card, my authenticity card, the come as you are card. That's what this is, the Lovers. You see that? So he's looking at her. And that Knight of Cups. It was your empathy and your compassion that seduced me back to health. And your femininity. Now I hear Eric Benet with the song Femininity. So listen to all the songs I named. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. You have to do that to Pisces video.